Back to Obscurus Gaming, and today I am taking a look at the 4 exclusive Switch 2 launch titles. Yes, there are plenty of other games in the launch window for the Switch, like Cyberpunk, Split Fiction, Breath of the Wild, and a few others that even have some new content. But the 4 games in this video are the ones that can be only played on the Switch 2, 2 of which you probably heard of, but 2 of which you probably haven't. So let's take a look from worst to best at the 4 exclusive Nintendo Switch 2 launch games. In 4th place is Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, Nintendo's most boring attempt to showcase a new console at launch. For example, for the Nintendo Wii, we had the excellent Wii Sports packaged in. For the Wii U, there was Nintendo Land, and then 1-2 Switch for the Switch. All of these were launch games, and even though 1-2 Switch was pretty lame, it still somewhat attempted to be an actual game. Now for the Switch 2, we are getting some diminishing returns here with the Nintendo 2 Switch Welcome Tour. While a competent experience that accomplishes what Nintendo set out to do, it's a bit of a joke that this costs money at all, considering it is more of an interactive tutorial than anything else. There are some mildly amusing minigames here that showcase the Switch 2 features, but generally speaking, these features are almost never used by developers outside of Nintendo themselves, so it's a missed opportunity to create some sort of true game at launch that shows off the Switch 2 controls better. In 3rd place is probably the most unknown game on this list, and that is Survival Kids, developed by Unity and barely promoted by Nintendo at all, despite it being one of the only launch exclusive games. In general, Survivor Kids is a co-op focused crafting game where up to either 4 players online or 2 players locally attempt to survive on a stranded island. You'll spend most of your time doing some light exploring, crafting, and problem solving to survive storms and other issues you may encounter. The game is family friendly, if you couldn't already tell that from the visuals. This is one of the only games to utilize the new Game Share feature on the Switch 2, allowing you to play the game locally with other Switch console players, even if only one person owns a copy of the game. The biggest issue with this game seems to be the price point and lack of physical release, which at $50 is scaring a ton of people off. Ultimately, the game itself is just stale and boring, especially at the $50 price tag, and just a missed opportunity here, sporting some pretty rough reviews so far. In 2nd place here is Fast Fusion. This is actually the 3rd fast game released in the launch window of Nintendo consoles, with the Switch 2 being no different. This comes as a digital-only budget experience, most closely compared to the F-Zero series. What Fast Fusion and the other fast games in the series try to do is be a somewhat technical showcase for their console, and Fast Fusion is no different for the Switch 2. It performs extremely well, with visuals that should hold up for the lifespan of the console. It is also one of the only 2 games to feature Game Share over Game Chat, which means you can play this game with other friends in your Game Chat sessions even if they don't own it. This is different than regular Game Share, which is what Survival Kids uses, which is where you would have to share the game locally from console to console. Basically, this game is exactly what you would expect for a modern zero-gravity racer that's polished and has been getting some good reviews so far, with the only real complaints being about a lack of content and no online multiplayer. But for $15, it is not a deal breaker, and it's one you might consider picking up, especially considering, again, it's a Switch 2 only experience. And taking the top spot here is, of course, Mario Kart World, a game that needs no introduction. By becoming a bit of an open world experience, Mario Kart World is instantly unique and memorable within the franchise. I personally still have a lot to do within the game, yet so far it is a joy to play through, especially online with friends. My only real complaints with Mario Kart World are wishing Nintendo would do a bit more to expand or modernize the online experience, and maybe coming up with some additional game modes to take up our time, but that's being somewhat nitpicky. The game looks and plays amazing, tries to be different enough with Free Roam and Knockout Tour, and really pops in both handheld and docked modes alike. Even though it might fall just short of greatness, it is still the top exclusive at launch and one that will be a system seller. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. Those are the 4 games that you can only play on the Switch 2. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.